Story time. So, I first came out to my students as non-binary in 2015 when I was a paraeducator in a high school in Maryland. In the fall of 2016, I was student teaching in my master's program, and I faced my first incidents of transphobia impacting my career. I assigned a news article to my students about Trans Day of Remembrance. The next week, my advisor told me the principal of the high school where I was student teaching had asked that I be removed from my placement because a parent had sent an email saying that they did not want their child in class with me.
Good.
The parent claimed that I was pushing a liberal agenda by forcing kids to use alternate pronouns for me. I was obviously indignant to my core, and my advisor was very supportive, but ultimately the university allowed it to happen, and they made me do another student teaching placement the following spring. That caused me to graduate a semester later than I should have. One of the many ways that transphobia can negatively impact a person's career.
What the does that even mean? I don't even understand what that means. That sounds like some bullshit to me.
Now, wait a minute. Let me get this straight. According to that young lady, if a parent doesn't want this stuff being taught to their child, it's some kind of phobia? Listen, in my opinion, if a teacher ever says, "Oh, I just came out to my students," that person just forfeited their right to ever teach again. And I think I can speak for the majority of us when I say, we didn't even know our teachers' first names, let alone who they like to have relations with, and we turned out just fine. For the most part. Anyway, welcome back. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I have a real quick and crazy clown world update for you guys today, and without any time to waste, we're going to get right into it. Excuse me. I apologize. I had something in my throat. Now, if you place your attention on the screen for a moment, here we have a tweet from a person who uses she, her pronouns. Now, this person posted one of those time hop photos where you have a split screen of a picture from a year ago and then a current day picture. The tweet says, "This is without facial feminization surgery and just hormones and laser hair removal." Huh?
What's wrong with your eyes?
When I see pictures like that, it reminds me of the saying, if you put lipstick on a Never mind, you guys know the saying. Anyway, next up. So, I often say in these videos that I think we're all being trolled, that these people are all just master trolls. Well, this next one is a perfect example of that. I don't know if this person is being serious. I don't know if she's joking around. I don't know. I can't tell. The comment says, "I would pay more to see you at a concert than Taylor Swift. Roll it."
Sweet, sweet comment. But actually, I know because I can sing way better than her because I actually spent 8 years in church camp on the choir. 22.
Shut the up!
You see what I mean? I cannot tell if that young lady literally thinks she is a better singer than Taylor Swift, or if she's just joking around and trolling the people in the comments. I don't know. Just like this next one. This person is obviously just trolling us, right? I mean, that is the only explanation for something this absurd. Roll it.
It is day 3 of my cross-country road trip to start my new life as a single trans woman moving to a state that supports and protects trans rights. Today I'm driving through the Texas Panhandle, which I'm a little bit nervous about, and so I am going to see if I can pass as a cis-het boy wearing some of my old clothes. Can I pull it off? Wait for it. The piece de resistance. What do you guys think?
Personally, I think you're a f***ing idiot.
All right, real quick, I just wanted to remind you guys that if you're enjoying the videos, you like the content, and you want to help support the channel, grabbing one of these t-shirts is a great way to do it. And listen, we all know that the current administration has flipped the White House upside down. They're finding drugs in there. They're having parties where people are exposing their bare chests. It is no longer the White House. From now on, we will call it the Trap House. And when people ask you what that means on your t-shirt, you can explain to them exactly what it means. Anyway, there will be a link to the t-shirt in the description box below. I also have a couple of other very cool designs you can check out as well.
It's funny because it's true.
All right, next up. So this young woman here in the... actually, there's two young women here in this TikTok. So the older of the two young women, who sounds like she smokes 3 packs of Newports a day, says that if you own an American flag, you are probably a racist. Roll it.
So I'm walking around in a racist white neighborhood, and I noticed how if I see a pickup truck with an American flag, it's basically like the Confederate flag. Like, every time I see an American flag, I cringe, because the American flag is like the new Confederate flag, right? It's safe to say, if you see a pickup truck with the American flag, that person is a racist. Okay, and if you have an American flag in front of your house, you're probably a racist. You're probably a racist.
She seems nice.
All right, next up, here we have a biological man who identifies as a trans woman. The comment says, "My point is you're a man because you have a..." Richard, roll it.
You say I'm not trans because I still have a penis. And I've medically transitioned as a trans person. I've gone through the suffering that trans people go through every day, the transphobia, etc. And now you're saying that if I could afford $100,000 bottom surgery, that you would consider me a trans woman, like other trans people you know, quote unquote, because we always need to play the "I have a trans friend" card. No, I guarantee you, since you've already said, I understand you've been medically transitioning and you have boobs, but that doesn't make you a woman. So there is no goalpost that is not going to be moved with you. I still get hunted as a trans person. I still have laws that affect me in my state as a trans person. And that didn't change because I don't have bottom surgery. And if you'd like to pay $100,000 for it, by all means, send me the money.
What in God's holy name are you blathering about?
All right, real quick before we go any further, I want to give a huge shout out to the sponsor of today's video. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to let this loop on the screen for nobody's viewing pleasure, really. I'm just going to let it loop on the screen. Oh, how far we have fallen. Anyway, today's video is being brought to us by our good friend all the way from the Netherlands, Eric Bosch. Eric, thank you so much, sir, for sponsoring today's video. I really appreciate all the continued support, sir. If you would like to sponsor the next video and help support the channel, there is a PayPal link in the description box below, and I will say your full name as a sponsor of said video unless stated otherwise by you. Yeah, get this off the screen now. Oof.
What the Buffalo Bill?
All right, next up. So this person is about to tell us how they get gender dysphoria from being called a witch, but don't like being called a wizard or warlock. Sounds logical, right? Roll it.
Hey, so I'm actually a trans man, and I get really, really bad gender dysphoria from being called a witch, but I really don't like the terms wizard and like warlock because, quite frankly, it feels f***ing goofy for me. At this time, I was not on testosterone. I was still living with my family where I wasn't really accepted, and that was really hard for me. And in general, I just had a lot going on, okay, to cause me a lot of gender dysphoria. So being called a witch on the f***ing internet was like, it was just like a small way of adding more. I get really, really bad gender dysphoria from being called a witch.
You should call him the dork.
All right, next up. So this young fella has a message for everybody, and if you don't like what he has to say, well, tough. You're going to have to deal with it. Roll it.
Hi, my name is Jezebel Lilith Eve. I am a natural-born lesbian woman. I was born with a dick. Don't like that? Deal with it. Bye.
Are you out of your f***ing mind?
All right, guys, we're going to be wrapping it up in just a few minutes. But before we do, this TikTok on the screen here, I actually showed in a video a while back, but it's making its rounds on the interwebs again. And I feel like it is worth watching one more time because it is just so absurd. So for those of you that have seen it here already, I do apologize for the repeat. For those that haven't seen it, check this out. I guess this is what would happen if Weird Al joined the Rainbow Coalition. Roll it.
If you're cis and you won't date trans folks, you're a transphobe. Now if that made you mad, maybe it's your prejudices that you need to probe. No matter the reasons you've got, you're reducing us to when we disrobe. And that kind of thinking ain't sophisticated, it's more like microbes. I know you think you've got good reasons, maybe you do. Trauma's real, it's hard to heal, I'd never say that that isn't true. But transphobia is transphobia, and you won't get a pass when we're through. We're human beings, not sex organs, cis lesbians, I'm talking to you.
Get a haircut, hippie.
So according to the Weird Al lookalike, if we're cis and we won't date trans folks, it makes us transphobes. Okay. Anyway, guys, we're going to be wrapping it up on this clip because I'm done. It's far too much brain age for one day. So, of course, we're going to be wrapping it up with everybody's least favorite former Vice President, Joe Biden. Now, this clip is, it's just ridiculous in so many ways. Now, first of all, he says, name one thing that we haven't accomplished that we set out to. I mean, this administration's been nothing but one failure after another. Secondly, you know how they say when people start to get really old and they start to lose their capacity, they yell and snap a lot? Well, it's a perfect example of that too. So anyway, guys, things are clearly getting crazy out there. So please take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Till next time. I love you guys. Peace. Roll it.
Name me a single objective we've ever set out to accomplish that we've failed on. Name me one in all of our history. Not one. I don't know what we're yelling about! Name me one in all of our history. Not one.
He's an angry elf.
And you ain't black.